Hi, this is Kishore and welcome back to Kishorelytics. In this video, we are going to dive something exciting and very interesting concept called the numeric functions and the DateTime functions. In the new numeric function, we are going to see about the round functions and the absolute functions. In the DateTime functions, we are going to see about the part extraction category only. And also in this video, we are going to see about the when and how to use the part extraction part. I don't want to take much time of you guys in this intro video. Let's dive into it. Yes guys, in my previous video we discussed about the SQL functions and we have discussed about the types of the SQL functions, right? And that video we particularly see about the string functions. And the today's agenda is about the numeric functions and the DateTime functions. So let's dive into it. So if we consider guys, this is the numeric functions, and in the numeric functions we have the one functions called the round. Numeric functions, and in that function we have the function called the round. So consider this is an example. This is a number. If I give this number to the round function and we want the output as a 2 decimals, so I want to give this function, give that number to the functions, and will SQL will check. 5 is considered as a 1 and 2 is considered as a 2, and the SQL will check whether the third number is greater than 5 or whether the number is less than 5. And if the number is greater than 5, so I will be rounded up, right? So this is gonna be the 0. So again, if I give this number to the round and I want the decimal as the output, or I want the output as a decimal 1, so if I consider as the output means SQL will consider the 5 as a 1 and the second number will be checked whether it's greater than 5 or less than 5. So now the number is less than 5, right? So it nothing, we don't want to consider. That's only I am writing as a nothing. So third, if I give this number to the round 0, I don't want this number, I don't want this output, I just want I don't want the decimal, I just only want the number, and consider this is the number, and if we consider this 0 as 1, 0 as 2, this 0 as 3, it whether we check with the 0 greater than 5 or it will check the less than 5, right? It will be less than 5. So the number 3 is greater than 5, so it will be considered as a 4. So that's why the main intuition of these numeric functions. So now I think I covered the numeric functions. Now let's. Yes guys, in my previous sessions we have discussed about the singular SQL functions and we have completed the string functions and numeric functions. Now let's get into the date and time functions. What is mean by the date and time functions, guys? Let me explain this date and time functions with some examples. So consider this is the date and this is the time, and in this date we have we know this 4 digit numbers is considered as a year, and 2 digit in the middle part we are considered as a month, and this date we are considered the day, and this is the hours, and this is the minutes, and this is seconds. So in this particular video, in this particular visuals, I want to say about the message, some message, right? So in poster SQL, I'm going to write here in Oracle and in poster SQL and in MySQL, the most previous SQL, right? This is the first SQL, I think. So in Oracle, in PostgreSQL, in MySQL, they will consider the DateTime function as a timestamp. And in SQL Server, if you are following along with me means you want to use the DateTime functions. Yeah, if you are following my Microsoft SQL Server, if you are following with me, if you are along with me means you want to find out the date time 2. So let's dive into it. So I have categories the DateTime functions into the 4 more categories. What are the 4 more categories means part extractions, format and the castings, calculation query, and validations. So what does mean? It means, guys, I am explaining the categories. What does it mean? I explain, guys. Wait, what is mean by the part extraction? What is mean by the format and casting? What is mean by the calculation query? And what is mean by the validation? Let me explain this. Consider this is an example date 2025 8th August. I'm going to write August and 20. So what is mean by the part extraction? What is mean by the part extraction? In the particular gate, some users, some customers come and ask me, I want the particular year only. In the particular gate, I want the particular year only. So if you want the particular year, just go with the part extraction. And if you ask the particular year, 2025, the output is the 2025, right? If you want the particular month, just go with the part extraction, and the part output will be the August month. Right? If you have if you want the particular date, if you want the particular day, if you just go with the part extraction, if you consider the output as a 20. So that's why we are going to the part extractions. So in the part extraction, we have some categories, right? So day, month and year, date part, date name, date trunk, EOMONTH. All those topics are explained in the particular video and remaining topics are explained in the next video. So I want to explain the what is meant with the format casting and calculation query and validation. What is meant with the format and casting? So consider this is an example. In this example, I want to format some date, right? So 08 2025 20th August. If I want the month name as the middle, I want it as a words in words means 20 August 2025. I want to format some cases, right? So that's why we are going to the format and casting. So the third category is about the calculation in the query. What is mean the calculation in the query? If you consider this example, if I want the add to the user, if you want to show to the output to the user after adding the 3 more years, what is mean with the output, right? So 2028, 8, 2020, 20, right? This is an output, right? We want to add some years, we want to subtract some years. So that's why we are going with the calculation query. And the last but not least is called the validation. We want to, in some cases, we want to validate the date, right? If the date is less than 20, I want to consider as a false. If the date is greater than 20, I want to consider as a true. So that's why we are going to see about the validations. So I hope I have covered the 4 more categories. What is mean with the part extraction, what is mean with the format and castings, what is mean with the calculation query, and what is mean with the validations. So in my particular video, I have considered this, guys. In my particular video, we are going to see about the part extractions only. In this video, we are going to see about the part extractions only. Already we have completed the numeric functions, and in my previous video, we have completed the string functions. So all those functions are covered. I want to keep the timing as short as possible, right? So in this particular video, we are going to see about the part extractions. In the part extraction, we have some core categories. What is mean the day, month, year, date part, date name, date trunk, and EOMONTH. So let's dive into it. What is mean by date? Yes guys, we have discussed about the part extraction part, and in this particular video we are going to see about the part extractions. So let's dive into it. So consider this is an example. In this particular date, I want the year means. If I want the year means, what is the year? It's mean with 2025, right? So that's why we are getting as the output as 2025. So if we want the particular month means, if we give the particular month to the particular function, month functions means, if we give the date to the month functions means, I get an output as the 8. So if we give the particular date to the day function means it will give as the output as the 20. So that's why we are going about the year, month and day. We have covered this, right? Day, month and year. So now let's dive into the date part. What is mean by the date part, guys? So what is mean by the date part? If we give this date to this year, it will get us the 2025 and it may be the integer. It will be the integer. So if we give this particular date to the month functions, it will give the output as 8 and it must be the integer. So if we give this particular date to the day functions, it will get as the output as a 20 and it must be the integer. The data type, I am talking about the data type, guys. So if we consider this date part, what is mean by the date part? We are going to expect quarter, week, day. That's why we are going to it. So if we consider this the particular date, if I give this date functions if we give the particular date to the date part function, it will be give as the quarter. If I want the quarter means, it will be the August month will be comes in the third quarter, right? The August month will be coming in the third quarter and this must be the integer. If we give this particular functions to the date part functions, I will be considered as I want the week. So in which week the 20th August comes in. So it may be that you may count it, right? It may be in the 34th week. So and this the output must be the integer. So that's why we are going to the date part functions. So if we give what is mean with the date part, right? Already we covered the date part. So what is mean with the date name? So what is mean with the date name? We want the date name and it may be the month. If we want the month name, so that means if we use this particular functions to the date name functions and I want the month, if we give the argument and it will be given as the output as the August and it must be the string. So again, if we give this particular date to the date name functions and I want the week day, which day must be the 20th August 2025, it must be in. It may be in the string, it may be the Wednesday and the output must be in the data type as a string. So that's why we are going to the date name functions, guys. Already, see guys, we have covered the day, month, year. What is meaning with the may? If we give this particular date to the year function, it will be considered as a part in the particular date. Part year is going to be present at the given as the output. if we give this particular date to the month functions, it will be given as the output date, because the particular date is considered as the August month, right? So we get the output as the August. It may be the integer. That must be the very important note. So I am going to write in the month functions, we get the output as the integer. Year functions, we get the output as the integer. In the day functions, we get the output as the integer. So in the DATEPART functions, we get the output as the integer. DATEPART functions, we get the output as the integer. So in the DATENAME function, we get the output as the string. We are going to consider this may be the strings, right? August, it may be the words, it may be the group of letters, right? So we consider the output as the string data type. So it may if we give the DATENAME function along with the weekday, it may be considered as string. We get the output as the Wednesday. So now let's dive into the DATETRUNC functions. What is mean by the DATETRUNC function? And it's a very important part comes here. The video peak here, right? So what is mean by the DATETRUNC functions? So consider this. I will consider this example as the DateTime functions. Consider 2025 8th August 20th date, and 18 hours 55 minutes and 00 seconds. So if we want to keep the DATETRUNC, and I am giving as the argument as the minutes. So it will be keeping that until this. The year should be present, and the month should be present, and the day should be present as it is. And the 18 hours present is as it is, and the 55 minutes present as it is. And we want the DATETRUNC along with the argument as a minutes, right? So it will be the SQL will be reset as the 00. I don't want to consider as the seconds. I just want to consider the minutes only, right? So just I go with the 18 hours 55 minutes. So consider, guys, if I consider the DATETRUNC along with the argument as of hours, the year should be present as it is, and the month should be present as it is, and the day should be present as it is, and now the year should be present as it is. I'm going to consider truncate. Trunc means truncate, right? So we are going to truncate along with the hours only. I don't want to consider the minutes. I don't want to consider the seconds. Whatever it may be, I just omit it, right? It said me reset as the 0. I think it may be not visible. I'm going to write it down here. So 18 hours and 00 and 00. It will the hours and minutes should be resetted, because we give the argument as a date as a hour. So that's why we are going to along with this, right? So now let's go with the day, month and year. It's a very interesting part and comes here. So if we use the date functions and give the particular date 2025 8th August 20. So it will be, I want the argument as the day, right? So if I just want to keep the SQL keeps 2025 8th August 20, and the hours and minutes and seconds should be not present in the output. It should be reset as a 0000. So that's why I want to consider the day one day, right? So why I want to consider the hours and minutes and seconds? Why? So that's why the SQL resets it as a 000. So if I want the particular day month DATETRUNC using the month, right? DATETRUNC I'm giving the argument as the month. So what will be the output, right? And the years should be present as it is, and the month should be present as it is, and the day will be reset as a 1, and hours, minutes and seconds has been reset as a 0000. So there is no date as a 00, right? The first month of the day is considered as the 1. So we are resetting as the day as a 1. So that's why some subscriber may ask why it can't be reset as a 00. There is no day as present as a 00. So then why I want to replace it as 00. So the first day of the month has been the 1. So I consider resetting as the day as a 1. We want the particular month, right? So why I want to consider the day, hours, minutes and seconds? Why? So that's why we are going with the DATETRUNC with the argument as a month. So I think these syntax are available the last, and the practical part has been available at the last. So subscribe to the Kishorelytics channel and stay tuned. So now let's going to dive into the year functions. We are going to truncate the year. So we are going to give the particular date to the DATETRUNC functions, and we are giving the argument as the year. So the year should be present as it is, and I don't want to consider the month, right? So I just only want the year. So I just resetting as a month, day and hours, minutes, year, seconds. I just want to only the month, years, guys. So I want to consider the month, day, hours, minutes and seconds. date part resets to 0 and time part will date part is the main important part. I am going to write it down. Date part, I mean the day, month, it should be reset as a 01, and the time part, timestamp, it may be the hours. I'm going to write it fully. The timestamp, hours, minutes, seconds, it should be replaced as the 00. So because means the day and month doesn't starts with 00, it starts with 1. So hours, minutes and seconds starts with 0, right? So that's why only it has been reset to 00. How the PhD students, how the scientists are working with SQLs, right? It's very interesting, right? So let's dive into the. Already we have completed the day, month, year, and date part and date name, right? Date name also considered, and we have completed the DATETRUNC. So now, what is meant by the EOMONTH? So as the name itself suggests, EOMONTH is mean by the end of the month. End of the month. So what is mean by that? What is mean by the EOMONTH? I want to, if I give this particular date 2025 808, I'm going to consider as example 2025 and 8th August, and this is my birthday date. I'm going to give the particular date to the EOMONTH, and I will be getting as output as the 31st August 08 31st August 2025. What does it mean? As the name is like, we are going to giving as output as the end of the month. If we give 2025 and 2nd February and 14th, consider if we give this particular date to the EOMONTH, it will be giving us output as 2025 to 2nd February 20th August. We are going to, if we consider as a leap year, it will be giving us 29. If we use as a normal year, it will be giving us output. It gets us give the output as the end of the month. But the data has been present at the end of the month, it will be giving as the output. So that's why if we give this 2025, 3rd August and 15th. If we give this particular date to the EOMONTH, it will be getting as a 2025 3rd March. It may be the March, right? So 31st August, 31st March, we are getting as the output. So that's why we are going to the EOMONTH. I think I have covered the date part extractions, right? Part extractions we have completed. I think we have completed the day, month, and year, date part, date name, date trunk, the EOMONTH. So now let's dive into the syntax of this date part conversions. So what is mean by the syntax? Syntax means it may be considered as a particular date. We want to consider this part only. So that's why. Consider this line has been, it's maybe the instruction, it may be the rule. We don't want to break the rule, right? So that's only we have the syntax. Consider this has been syntax. This is the normal syntax. We have the consider the day functions, and inside this we have to give some date 2025, 08, and 01. So month function as it is, we are giving a particular date to the month. It may be there is no more argument has been present in here. 2025, 08, 01. If you want the particular month means we are go with the month. So in the year date we are giving the year functions. We are giving the year of. I'm giving the particular date. It may be considered as the output as the day means it may be considered the 1. In month we are considered the August. It may be in the strings. So that's why integer. Why I'm repeat again and again. That's why it may be present in your mind. If an interviewer asks about which data type does the day functions give means, if you want to say at the time of Kishorelytics comes in the mind, I want to say integer in month. It may be the year, your month means it may be the date time, right? That's why I'm telling about that. Month it may be considered as the integer. If you give the year date particular date 0801 to the year function, mean we may given as output as a 2025, it may be the integer. If we give the particular date the EOMONTH of end of month, that's why EO of 2025 0801. If we give means 31st August August 2025, it may be in the date. So that's why. If we give, then we are the most interesting part comes here, date part. Date part and which part? It may be the quarter and giving the particular date, right? 2025 20. It may be in the output as a output has been considered as the quarter, and it may be in the string. See, yeah, it may be the integer data type. So if we consider the date name functions, if we give the particular date, which part you want, I want the month function, month part, and if I am giving the particular date 2025-8/01, it may be giving as the output as a string. I am getting a output as the August in the board of letters. So if we consider DATETRUNC functions, if we give which date trunk, which it may be the day, it may be the month, it may be the hour, it may be the seconds. I think no seconds. It may be the minutes, it may be the hours, it may be the day, it may be the month, it may be the year. So that's why we are going in. Which part? I want the day part, right? So again, I'm giving the particular date as 2025 8 on. If we're giving as output as the string, it may be giving as output as a date. Yeah, it may be giving as output as a date. So now let's dive in the syntax and data type parts. So I already tell, right, day, month, year and date part. Date part has been considered as the integer, giving as the output as the integer data type. Integer data type is giving an output. In the DATENAME functions, we are getting as the output as the string. So why means we, as the name itself suggests, we are going to extract the name, right? It may be the August, it may be the Wednesday, it may be the Tuesday, it may be the Monday, anything. It may be the group of the letters. So that's why it's a string. So what means with the DATETRUNC? We are going to extract some DATETRUNC, right? Day, month. It may be in the date. So EOMONTH is considered as the date. DATETIME. We are going in this DATETIME, DATETRUNC. We are going to consider 2025 8. The output will maybe the 01 00 00 00. It may be considered along with the time, right? So we are considered the date syntax as date time as I mean the data types is maybe the date time. So EOMONTH, it may be the end of month, it can maybe considered the date. So in this date, in the EOMONTH, we are considered only the 2025 08 31. We don't consider in the time, right? So that's why it may be in the data type. So that's why along with this. So what does the date part helps? The use cases of the date parts, right? So what does it mean? What does we have to consider the meaning of the date parts, and what is the use cases of the date parts, right? So let's dive into the date parts. So date parts helps to aggregate the data. It may be the interview question, guys. Please note it down. Date parts helps to aggregate the data at different level of granularity. Granularity means year, month, day, hours, seconds, minutes, whatever it may be. It may be aggregate the data based on the granularity. But it may be the year, it may be the month, it may be the day, it may be the hours, it may be the seconds, it may be the minutes, whatever it may be. When the interviewer asks what is the use cases of the date part extraction means, you want to say date parts helps to aggregate the data at different levels of granularity. Granularity means year, month, day. The interviewer may get impressed about your answer. So consider, please subscribe to the Kishorelytics channel. So if you want the report sales by the year, we are going with 2025, 2026, 2025. Right? It may be the use cases. Report sales by the quarter. There are 4 quarters in the year. Quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4. So if you want the report sales by the month, we are going with the date part 6, right? Date by this may be used as January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, November, October, whatever it may be. I'm telling the month's name as wrong. So consider. Sorry guys. And now we are going to choose how to choose the correct functions. So when to use the correct functions. So that's why in this visuals we are going to see about. So now let's dive into it. Now in this session we are going to see about the how to choose the correct functions. So it's answers comes with the many more questions. So in which part you want to extract? It may be the date, month, it may be the year, it may whatever it may be the other parts. It may be the other parts means you can go with the other parts. It may be in the date part functions. So I'm going to write by if we go with the other parts, date part functions. It may be the quarter. If you want the quarter, if you want the month, if you want the weekday, whatever it may be. If you want go with the other parts means just go with the date part functions. If you want the year means you just go with the year functions. And if you want the day month means it comes with the 2 questions. It may be the numeric or it may be the full name. If it comes with the numeric means just go with the day function and just go with the month functions. If you want it as a full name, just like the Wednesday, August, Monday, Tuesday, September, October, November, whatever it may be. If you want it in a full name means just go with the date name functions. I hope I covered this tutorial, right? Very answer comes with many more questions, right? If you want the day and month means, just go with, and again I want to answer some certain questions. Is it the numeric? If you want the it as a full name. If it is a numeric means, if your answer is a numeric means, just go with the day functions and just go with the month functions. Whatever it may be, it may go with the day functions, month functions. It consider the output data type as an integer, right? So if you want the full name means, just go with the date name function. It may be the August, September, Monday. And the second part, if you want the year means, just if you just want only want the year means, just go with the year functions. And other, it may be the other parts means, just go with the date part functions. That's what. That's all about this theoretical sessions and these sketches, and you can just go through this image. And if you want this image, just all the notes are available in my Kishorelytics GitHub repository. Kishorelytics. I'm going to name. This is my GitHub repository. I changed my Kishorelytics Kishore22axy. I changed the name to Kishorelytics. Just go with this repository. I also give this repository in my description box. Please make sure to have the scripts and notes. All those things are available in my GitHub repository. And if you have any doubts, if you have any doubts, means just let me know in the comment box. I'm happy to share all those doubts. Okay, fine. So now let's get into the practical part of this session. Yes guys, now let's dive into the practical part of the numeric functions, and later we dive into the DateTime functions. So in this example, as already we considered this example, right, 3.516 as the original number. I'm going to introduce the round functions, and how many decimals you want to get as the output. So that's why in the as the 2. Round of 3.516 as 2 as the round 2, and round of 3.516 and this I want another number as again I consider 1 decimal, again 0 decimal. If I select this and execute this means, see the original number is maybe the 3.516, and the round 2 if I consider 3.520, and the round 1 3.500, and the round 2 4000. That's why it may be in the number. Already we are discussing the tutorial in the theoretical part itself. We are discussing, and now at the time only I am introducing another functions called the ABS. What does that mean? Already we discussed in the ABS in the Python tutorial itself, right? If you don't watch the Python tutorial, if you want to learn the Python, just go with my channel. It may be the option tutorial, guys. Trust me, at the end of this video, you will be the master of this Python course. So stay tuned. And a lot of free courses are available in the Kishorelytics in the future. So subscribe to the Kishorelytics. It may be 2 minutes or 2 seconds to subscribe to the Kishorelytics. It may be worth me a lot. So let's dive into it. The absolute functions. So if consider this is, first of all, I am going to execute this. The original number, it may be the -10. So if you give the absolute name, if it may the negative number means we will consider as the output as a 10. Again, if you give the positive number means the output is a positive number. That's why the output is a positive number. So now let's dive into the DateTime functions practical part. Now let's dive into it. Yes guys, now let's dive into the DateTime functions, and I have planned the 8 tasks for you guys. So I just only show the code. You just only want to see the output in your screen. That's why that's my wish to as the learning path as my journey. So now the task is one is the display the order ID, creation time, and the hard coded date. What does that mean? We want to hard coded. We want implement just want to push the date as output, and the current system date. So current system date means the date is 17/10/2025 at the time of recording. And if you watch this video at the time of 20, I think it may be in the Tuesday. It may be after the Deepavali, right? So related wishes to the Deepavali, guys. So stay tuned and subscribe to the Kishorelytics channel and support to my channel. If you support to my channel, I can make the minimum tutorial as free. And if we meet many more people, if we want to grow many things, and we want to, many of the students can utilize the free courses, right? So that's why I'm saying subscribe to the Kishorelytics channel and support to the Kishorelytics channel. So now let's dive into it. Display the order ID, creation time, and hard coded date and the current date. So we are going to select the order ID and the creation date, and we are going to hard coded, right? That's why we are it's a print statement. We are going to print the output hard coded 2025 8 20 as a hard coded, and get it as a I'm introducing another function called get date. It gives the system date. So that's why we are using the get date as a today from the sales.order. I'm going the sales database. I'm having the orders table. That's why in the sales.order. So this has been output has been seen in your wish seen in your screen. That's why that's my wish. So stay tuned. So the second task is about the extract the various parts of the creation time using the DATETRUNC, DATETAME, DATEPART, year, month and day. So this is very easy, right? This has been done with you. I don't want to teach this. So the third task is about the aggregate the orders by years using the DATETRUNC and creation time. What does it mean? We are going to extract the year only. And from the date time is called the date. This is the date considered as being the day, and as creation I'm going to count the order date. How many years? That's why I'm going to group by. We are going to group by. So we want to see the display the order ID, creation date and end of the month. So that's why we are using the EOMONTH. So I hope I just covered all those things in the syntax and theoretical part and coding part as well as in the theoretical part itself. Now I'm just showing the screen and the output will be shown in your screen. Okay. And task by is the how many orders were placed in each order. Select here count just counting the we are using the aggregation functions, right? From sales order group by yes of order ID. So that's what it is. And task is about the how many orders were placed. We want to count month, how many orders from each month. For each month means we want to use the month functions. So we are using the month of order date as order month, and we are using the aggregation functions called count. From the sales that we are going to group 8 months. The task 7 is about the how many orders were placed in each month. Each month is also about the date name. We are going to extract this date name month. We want the month, right? So we are using an order date from the as order month, and we are using the count function as the order date from sales orders, and we are using the group by the date name functions. And the last but not least, we are using about the select show all orders that were placed during the month of February. Select star month. We are using the month of February, right? So we are using the month of order date is equal to 2. We are using the where condition. That's why we are using the where condition. I hope I have covered many things in this tutorial about the date name functions, date time functions, numeric functions. We have discussed a lot of those things in this tutorial, right? We have discussed many things. And we have completed the string functions, numeric functions and date name functions. And in the date name function we are seeing about the part extractions. We have completed the part extraction, and the remaining 3 parts will be available in the next video and in the next Tuesday. So until the next Tuesday, tata, bye bye. This is Kishore and signing up from the Kishorelytics channel. Tata, bye bye.